afternoon and welcome to this Thursday, November 1st edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Randy Joseph Lilly alongside Dylan Donald and Colton Yarich. In today's news, we'll bring you some surprising news about the location of a casino in Westman and an update at who will be and who won't be at Comic-Con in Winnipeg this weekend. And Dylan will be in with sports. Dylan, there's been a lot of sports news out of Assiniboine Community College this week.
There sure has, Randy, but the latest update is not so great. A couple of ACC teams have had to fold this season. I'll let you know which ones later on in the show.
Thanks, Dylan. And Colton will be in with weather. Colton, it's getting a little chilly outside. Should I be unpacking my top hat for the season?
Well, maybe not for you, Randy, but for the snowman. We can expect to see some wet flurries over the next few days, so those snow folks will likely be popping up around town. Currently in Brandon, it's cloudy and -4. Wind is out of the east-northeast at 18 kilometers per hour. There's a 30% chance of precipitation later this afternoon. That's it for now, but I'll be back later in the show with full weather details.
Thanks, Colton. After months of debate, Brandon ended up losing the high-stakes game of where to build a casino in southern Manitoba. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs said it has reached an agreement with Minnesota-based Hemisphere Gaming Incorporated to finance, build, develop, and manage the Spirit Sands Casino at Carberry. Assembly Grand Chief Darren Nepanak said in a release that Hemisphere has a solid track record managing the South Beach Casino on the Broken Head Ojibwe Nation Reserve north of Winnipeg. Spirit Sands will be located on the Swan Lake First Nation and will employ about 150 people when it's fully operational late next year. It will hold up to 450 slot machines and up to 12 gaming tables, with construction expected to start next spring. New books are on the way for local New Era School thanks to the help from Indigo Adopt a School program. That initiative allowed the public to adopt the school online for free, donate funds, and buy e-gift cards. Librarian Vivian Thorgeson was thrilled by the tremendous involvement of staff, students, and family, which made the venture a success. The project's goal of a book for each of the school's 550 students wasn't met, but they were still happy to receive 111 books. The Adopt a School program began in 2009 and has put more than 80,000 books in 459 schools. And it's not too late to adopt to New Era and contribute to the program. Visit adoptaschool.indigo.ca online. Firefighters and paramedics in Winnipeg are no longer allowed to use their personal cell phones on the job. The city confirms that it implemented the new policy to prevent distractions in the workplace and help ensure the safety and privacy of all personnel, the public, and patients. Chris Broughton, the head of the Winnipeg Paramedics Union, says his union supports the new rules, but he admits there's been a mixed response in the field. He says, like everyone else, paramedics and firefighters get pretty attached to their phones. He could navigate his way around the universe, but can't steer a course for Manitoba. Illness is preventing Walter Koenig, the actor who played the Russian navigator Chekhov on the original Star Trek series, from attending this weekend's Central Canada Comic-Con in Winnipeg. And for the second year in a row, Brent Spiner, who played Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, will also not attend. As kind of a consolation prize, organizers are beaming down actress Marina Sirtis, who played Deanna Troi on Star Trek The Next Generation, and Nichelle Nichols' Uhura on the original Star Trek. Fans will get up to warp speed when the 3-day exhibition starts tomorrow at the Winnipeg Convention Center. And with that bit of out-of-this-world news, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
You're watching Westman Newsline, produced by the media production students of Assiniboine Community College. Local news, weather, and sports only on Westman Newsline, airing on WCG-TV at 1 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Residents along the American East Coast are beginning the long road to recovery in the wake of Superstorm Sandy. Renee Marsh is in hard-hit Hoboken, New Jersey, with a look at cleanup efforts.
It's been 3 days since Superstorm Sandy bore down on the East Coast, but recovery is just beginning. Governor Chris Christie of hard-hit New Jersey is asking for patience.
I'm not paid to have patience. I'm paid to get things done for all of you. but I need you to have patience as I'm trying to get all these things done.
Christie accompanied President Obama on a tour of storm damage yesterday. The president said Americans go through tough times, but always bounce back.
So my commitment to the people on this block, the people of this community, and the people of this state is that that same spirit will carry over all the way through until our work is done.
In New York, limited subway service is beginning today. With flooded tunnels and packed buses, many commuters have been forced to walk or bike into Manhattan.
We're going to get where we're going and then take it one step at a time and figure it out.
Governor Cuomo declared a transportation emergency, waiving fees on mass transit until the end of the week. The storm damage was so extensive at New York's Bellevue Hospital that it had to be shut down, with National Guard troops evacuating patients. 10,000 Army, Air, and National Guard troops have been put on duty in 13 states. Those left with waterlogged homes and damaged businesses across the eastern seaboard say they're getting through day by day.
I think I'm in survival mode, so I'm just going. I'm just doing one step at a time.
Well, if you pass by any gas station in the area, the lines are unbelievably long, people waiting hours to fuel up, and traffic around this region is a nightmare. And because of that, New York's mayor saying that if people are trying to get into Manhattan, they have to carpool during certain hours. Reporting in Hoboken, New Jersey, I'm Renee Marsh.
Engineers and city planners in New York might draw some inspiration from Tokyo on how to handle big floods. As CNN's Alex Zolbert found out, the Japanese capital has spent billions to keep the high water away.
Below these fields, on the outskirts of Tokyo, through a door behind a government building, sits a remarkable feat of engineering. An elaborate complex and a massive tunnel aimed at preventing widespread flooding in this low-lying area. Takashi Komiyama explains to us how the system works. A tunnel running more than 6 kilometers or nearly 4 miles connects 5 underground shafts that collect water from above. And how big are these shafts or tanks? They're about 70 meters or about 230 feet deep. To put that into perspective, that's big enough to fit a space shuttle or the body of the Statue of Liberty. At the heart of the system are these 4 turbines powered by jet engines, similar to those used on a Boeing 737. When set in motion, they can drain the equivalent of a 25-meter swimming pool in 1 second, able to funnel water from the tunnel and tanks to a nearby river. This system cost roughly $3 billion to construct, and it's been used nearly 70 times over the past 10 years. As you can see, the size of this complex is simply staggering. It is something that few major cities could ever really accommodate underground. The room I'm standing in right now is bigger than a soccer pitch and more than 5 stories high. And when we asked Takashi about the flooding in the United States, he recognizes this system is built to cope with heavy rains, not a storm surge off the ocean. Still, the idea could help engineers think about what may be possible when it comes to trying to contain Mother Nature. Alex Zolbert, CNN, Saitama Prefecture, Japan.
That's all for news, but stay tuned. Colton's up next with Newsline Weather.
Good afternoon with Newsline Weather. I'm Colton Yarch. Well, the fright from Halloween yesterday has carried over into the forecast. It may be time to pull out that winter coat and your toucan mitts if you haven't already. Currently in Brandon it is cloudy and -4. Wind is out of the east-northeast at 18 kilometers per hour. There's a 30% chance of precipitation later this afternoon. Tonight will be cloudy, temperatures will be around -4, winds will be out of the east at 20 kilometers per hour. And overnight that cloud coverage will continue, may even bring some scattered flurries with it, although less than 1 centimeter is expected to fall overnight. Our low is -6. Taking a look at our satellite image now, as you can see, while there's a slight chance of flurries, there's not much for precipitous cells around the Brandon area, except for this small bit headed our way from Russell. Turning to our satellite image now, as you can see, some clouds from the northwestern U.S. may make its way into Manitoba in the coming days. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, tomorrow we'll see a cloudy sky with scattered flurries. About 2 to 4 centimeters is expected. It will be chilly, a high of only 0 and a low of -6. Winds will be out of the east at 15 kilometers per hour. Saturday, those clouds will stick around, but the snow should let up. We can hope for a high of -1 and a low of -6. Winds will be out of the east at 10 kilometers per hour. And Sunday will be cloudy yet again with a high of +1 and a low of -7. Winds will be out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. There's a 60% chance we'll see more flurries. 1 to 3 centimeters is possible, as well as 1 to 3 millimeters of rain. For Monday, we should finally see some sun, a high of +2 and a low of -4. Winds will be out of the southwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Tuesday, sunny skies should prevail with a high of 4 and a low of -3. It'll be blustery though, with winds out of the northwest at 35 kilometers per hour. Taking a look around the region, Winnipeg is in at -2, Portage is in at -3. Meanwhile, Dauphin, Neepawa, Minnedosa, Killarney, and Verdun are all in at -4. Seasonal norms for this time of year are a high of 5 degrees and a low of -6. The record for this date was a balmy temperature of 16.5 set back in 1983. Our record low was a frosty -18.6 back in 1984. Once again in Brandon, it's cloudy and -4. Wind is out of the east-northeast at 18 kilometers per hour. That's it for weather, but stick around. Dylan's up next with Newsline Sports.
Good afternoon with Newsline Sports. I'm Dylan Donald. The Neelan Spartans came out on top in their semifinal matchup last night in the Winnipeg High School Football League. The Neelan defense was the big story, holding the Beaver Bray Broncos to a single field goal, and after Spartans quarterback Bryce Keelback dove for a 1-yard touchdown, the Spartans were able to defeat the Broncos by a score of 8-3. Neelan will now face the unbeaten Steinbach Sabres in the finals. After being unable to meet the required number of players for Manitoba College's Athletic Conference basketball competition, the men's and women's teams from Assiniboine Community College have withdrawn from the rest of the 2012 season. ACC Athletic Director and MCAC President Larry Shannon said he was disappointed not to put teams on the court this year, but he's hopeful the teams can be resurrected for future seasons. At the time of the withdrawal, the ACC Cougars had not yet started their basketball season. All games involving the Cougars will be wiped from this year's MCAC schedule. Westman will be well represented at this year's Baseball Manitoba Awards banquet on November 17th. 7 people from the region have been awarded honors, with Brandon's Marshall Burgess named Bantam Player of the Year, Minnedosa's John Hutton is the Senior AA Player of the Year, and Reston's Rory Teichels was named Senior AAA Player of the Year. Brandon's Farron Ashen was named the High Performance Coach of the Year. Hemiota's Nicole Matson will be recognized as Volunteer of the Year, and Ron Ramsey, also from Hemiota, and Reston's Ross Teichels will be added to the organization's Honor Society. Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans who want to own a piece of the team have their chance now that the team is moving to its new home at the University of Manitoba Stadium. That means everything from the old stadium is being sold. Seats autographed by a favorite player are being sold for $150, and players' lockers are going for $300. The goalposts will also be sold, though there haven't been any takers yet. Even the turf is being sold off by the piece, along with the stadium lights, signs, and the Jumbotron. Season ticket holders will get the first crack at the items, and in early December, the sale will be opened up to the public just in time for Christmas. And Randy, that's all for sports.
Thanks, Dylan. You know, there was a big trade that went down between Oklahoma City and Houston, which landed James Harden with the Rockets. How did he do last night in his debut?
He made his debut last night for the Houston Rockets with 37 points, coming very close to his record 40 for his career, and he actually set a new high for his assist, tallying 12 last night.
Wow. Well, I mean, with that, he's definitely going to have to be major for the Rockets for them to be successful in the future.
Correct.
And that's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday for Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline.